Alright, so we're going to try this again. Hi, again, I'm Megan, or Megan the Dreamer on Instagram. Please hit like and subscribe to my channel. And then go follow me on Instagram because I'm hoping to do this a lot more, and I would like to grow my channel as much as possible and get some more lady carnivore influencers out there in the world. So thank you so much for watching my video today. Yesterday I started my very first video, and it was about Frank Tufano and Sean Baker and the whole debacle that's going on in his community. I just watched his live YouTube and I watched Sean Baker's rebuttals, and I don't even know what to think about all of this mess. It's a complete, I don't know. I feel like in the carnivore community everybody's kind of supporting each other, and I felt like that was a little bit out of bounds for Frank personally, but I'm not in his shoes, I'm not in his brain. I don't understand why he felt so threatened, because I think that people really appreciate him in the community. At least that's what I've seen today. So anyway, I'm a total mess right now. I just got done working out. I'm a very regular gym goer. I always have been, but I've always struggled with weight. So today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about how I got into carnivore, what led me to this, and why I guess that it feels so good for me personally. So we'll start off with about 6.5 years ago, I had my son, and when I got pregnant, I thought I needed to be as healthy as I possibly could be, so I did a whole lot of research on nutrition, and I came across a whole lot of different vegetables and meats and proteins, and started kind of going down this paleo path, and I really enjoyed it. I drank a ton of coconut milk while I was pregnant, and I ate so much steak, it's not even funny, and I didn't even like steak before then. I thought that it made me feel kind of sick, but I craved salt, I craved steak, and I craved coconut milk of all things. So, and it was probably my body telling me that I needed to drink more milk, but you know, every girl in the world is like, we don't need more fat in our diet, so I kind of like poo-pooed it away, drank more coconut milk thinking it would make me get the good fats. And so anyway, I have a very strong, healthy son. He is 6 years old. He's almost like 4'3" at this point. He's a very tall kid. So, and I attribute that probably mostly to all the steak that I ate while I was pregnant. Anyway, fast forward about a year, I kind of intermittent fasted by default because my son and I were suddenly together, just him and I, for the first, after 5 months, his dad was out of the picture, and so I kind of default fasted for a few months there. I lost a ton of weight. I ate a lot of fish in that time period and a lot of fresh veggies and fruits. And basically I would feed my son, and then at the end of the night, whatever he didn't eat, I kind of just like munched on, lost a ton of weight. So then I started getting back into nutrition again, started going down the paleo path, like really heavy. I stayed away from grains for like 2 years, 3 years almost, and really like took hold of nutrition. I didn't do a lot of beans in that time period. I did a lot of green leafy vegetables. I did a lot of berries. I haven't eaten like regular fruit, like for the most part, other than berries, for a long time. So, yeah, so that's kind of where this all started. And then about a year and a half ago, well, I guess 2.5 years ago, I started getting these rashes on my hands, like little tiny blisters all over the place. And I worked in the medical field, so I figured it was from interacting with so many patients. I figured that I picked up some sort of like skin condition just by like touching patients all day long. I was doing EKGs all day long. I worked in cardiology. I worked a lot with lipids. So I was, you know, anyway, so I went to the doctor myself, and they told me I had stress eczema. And I was like, well, what do I do for that? Because I'm always going to be stressed out. I'm a single mom. And so they said, well, here's this cream. You put it on there when you get it, and then it goes away over time. But it still took like 3 weeks for it to go away, even though I was rubbing cream on it. And in the meantime, I was getting, like, I literally have scars. I don't know if you can see them very well, but I have scars on my hand from when I was getting blisters so bad. So Anyway, that's kind of where I think it started, and I didn't recognize that it was probably my diet because I had started incorporating a few more grains. And then, so then I ended up, you know, working in the medical field. They bring you cupcakes, cookies, and all that stuff all the time, and so you naturally start ingesting that kind of thing. And so I started putting on a little bit of weight over time, and for some reason I couldn't lose it again. And even though I ate mostly paleo, I still ingested a lot of carbs in the form of crackers. I remember getting my blood tested because I did work in cardiology, so it was very easily accessible to me to get my blood work done. And I was pre-diabetic, even though I was within a healthy BMI. And my lipids were great. My LDL particles were huge. Like, I had great particles. So, and unfortunately, I don't have access to all that great information still, because I would love to do it now after a year of doing this. But anyway, so I ended up, you know, having a whole lot of stomach issues. I ended up switching jobs because I thought, well, maybe it's so much stress that I just can't handle it anymore. My stomach was hurting all the time. I was breaking out in rashes all the time. And so I definitely thought, well, it's work related. I was working, you know, 60, 70 hours a week. And so I switched a job to an entirely new profession in radio, and it's been amazing, but I was still having stomach issues and rashes. And so I was like, what is happening? So I went to the doctor, and he was like, you know, it's just stress. You gotta like de-stress. And I was like, well, I go to the gym. I run all the time. I ran a 5K for my 30th birthday. I was like, I'm active. He's like, well, and I was like, I feel like it's when I eat grains. And he's like, well, just don't eat grains. And he's like, I think you probably have some form of IBS. Just don't eat grains, and that's it. Like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, well, that doesn't really help me. He's like, well, try going vegan for a few weeks and see how that feels. And I felt the worst I've ever felt in my entire life trying to go vegan or plant-based. Sorry, I don't want to offend a vegan, but I felt the worst that I've ever felt by going plant-based. I was cramping all the time. I felt nauseous all the time. I felt like I couldn't go to the bathroom. And then when I did go to the bathroom, it was painful. And my rashes were worse than ever. I started breaking out in all this acne. And pages were like, oh no, it's just a flush. It'll go away. And it was like, it doesn't feel like it's going away. It feels like it's just getting worse. I wasn't losing any weight. In fact, I gained weight in like the 4 weeks that I had tried going plant-based. I think I gained 15 pounds. So I was like, well, this can't be for me. So I started incorporating meat back into my diet. And then I, you know, had heard about Dr. Jason Fung and what he was doing with fasting. And I was like, well, that's really interesting. And some of what he had talked about was keto. And I was like, well, what the heck is keto? I found Thomas DeLauer. And then I just kind of got on this spiral of like, trying to figure out and like diagnose myself, because I felt like doctors weren't really helping me, and they just kind of like foo-fooed it as like normal. Like, it's normal to be pre-diabetic at the age of 30 when you're healthy, you have an active lifestyle, you eat really well, and it's just normal. And I'm like, well, that doesn't feel normal to me. So I kept going, researched, came across Dr. Sean Baker somehow, and he was talking about like going all meat, and I was like, well, I'm not doing this if I don't see any girls doing this. And I think who I had first saw, I read Nina Teakel's The Big Fat Surprise, and I really liked that book and realized that there was this whole community of women who were doing this diet. And I thought, well, 30 days won't kill me. So I tried for 30 days, and I felt relief for the first time ever. So that's kind of what got me started in this. I'm going to be done with the video for now because I would like to kind of keep going day by day, kind of take through my processes. Tomorrow I'll probably go into a little bit more detail about what's happened since then, since I decided to go carnivore. And hopefully we'll get into some more details as we go. But thank you for watching my YouTube video. Please like this video and subscribe, because I am such a newbie baby and a female carnivore in this world, and there's lots of us out there. But please like, subscribe, and share if you would, please. Thank you so much. Hope y'all have a good night.